Okay, let me turn off the fan because it's bad enough. My neighbor is mowing their lawn, but the window's open. It's really hot in here, so I can't shut it. I hope you guys don't get too distracted by that. Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. Let me just check and make sure I'm live in the right place. And have this open so I can see comments. If you're joining me live, let me know you're here. Tell me where you're from. I'd love to see where everyone is from. I'm Angela. I'm coming here live from Maryland. I'm right near Ocean City, Maryland. We live in a small town called Berlin. Well, outside a small town called Berlin. In Maryland on the eastern shore near the Atlantic Ocean. We're on the bay side from Ocean City. And it's beautiful here, and I am so fortunate to live in such a beautiful place. I hope you're all doing well. I haven't been as present this week as I like to be in this group, but that's because I went on a camping trip. I haven't been on vacation in 2 years, except for to go to Philly to see my nephews and my brother and sister-in-law. And so our neighbor has an RV, and he asked us to go on a trip down to see the colors in the mountains, the trees changing for autumn, down in the Shenandoah Valley, in the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia. And man, let me tell you, it is beautiful down there. And I'm not going to be around a whole lot this week either. Just today and tomorrow I'm here. And then my nephew's birthday is in the very beginning of November. But he chose for his 8th birthday to have a Halloween party, a costume party. So that is Saturday. So I'll be leaving Saturday morning to go 3 hours north to Philly to celebrate my nephew's 8th birthday. And then I'll be home again late on Sunday night. So, in the upcoming week, I will be doing a reading in here for the full moon. I missed the reading that I try to do one weekly, but I missed this past week for the first quarter moon. But that's okay. Sometimes I'm going to miss them. I try to be in here live doing a reading once a week. It's a collective reading typically. We just finished up a series. We did a series of the 4 foundational skills of an earth magic practice. Pretty much any magical practice, really. I talk a lot about earth magic, but generally, it really is natural magic. Natural magic is the broad term, and earth magic is the smaller term for it. So it's a subdivision, kind of natural magic. And I want to get back to some of the foundations in some of these lives. The replays for all of the lives for all of these lives, Waking the Witch is what I call my weekly show. They are all in the guide section. So I upload them to YouTube, and then I put them in the guide section so that you guys can watch the replays whenever you like. So just so you know, they are all there. So we're going to talk about the various forms of natural magic today. And there are many. I think I have 20 of them that I wrote, I take notes so I don't forget and start mumbling or babbling. So any of you that don't know me, I'm Angela. For any of the new people that are here, I'm Angela Judith, my middle name. Pavesi is my last name, but no one knows how to pronounce it usually because of the way it's spelled. So I don't even bother using it. Yeah. So we're going to explore the many different facets of natural magic today. And so what is natural magic? And how does it relate to earth magic? And what are the various different kinds of natural magic? That's what we're going to talk about today. So I am a certified intuitive life coach, but I've been practicing natural magic for over 2 decades. And in early recovery, about 5 years ago, I had lost my path, I lost my way, I had no spiritual connection, and I had studied all this stuff, but I didn't know how to connect with it. And I knew technically what one should do, but I had no experience with connecting with it in a deeper way. And so learning I used all of these tools, and I learned a ton more tools, psychological tools, hypnotherapy tools, energy work tools, meditation, all the things that I help other people to learn. I used to get and stay sober and to repair my spiritual connection with the earth and nature, and then to manifest intentionally my partner, my the love of my life, my soulmate. And so, and a beautiful place to live, nestled here in nature in a really beautiful place. So I'd like to share, and this is what I'm looking forward to doing, is sharing these tools, sharing how to practice earth magic, sharing how to manifest with the moon, how to use natural magic and the moon cycles and these other forms of, and these other tools to manifest the lives that we desire. Because we really can free ourselves from repeating patterns and circumstances. We really do have far more control over our life and our circumstances than what we are led to believe. And so the deeper work is what we do inside my program, Awaken Her Magic. And that is a 12-week program where you do learn some natural magic, and we do do a manifestation blueprint, a personal one, where you learn how to create your own manifestation practice, one that fits in with your life. All of that's involved, but also all the deeper work is involved as well, the shadow work and all of that. But I feel like I don't cover enough of the basics, and I think that I have a lot of newer people who are newer to magic practicing magic, and so I'm trying to get back to the basics as well and provide a lot of that information in a certain context for everyone as well. So this is going to be a basic talk about all the different facets and types of natural magic, and then how you can choose which one you want to try to practice first. And then Saturday, the 4th of November, I'm going to teach a 4-hour long, well, we'll take 15-20 minute breaks in between, in three sections. I'm going to do 1 o'clock, and then we'll take a 20-minute break after that, and then we'll do 2 more. So between 1 and 5, I'm calling it a Simple Earth Magic mini course, and it will be on all of the main things that you would want to know stepping into a natural magical practice. And we're going to cover everything that you would need to know to get your practice off the ground, including spells. So just to let you guys know that there are links all over this group on the wall if you would like to check that out. So let's get into natural magic. What is it? It is the practice of tapping into the energies of the earth and the elements to manifest and create change. So basically, it's the same as a manifestation practice. Hey, Lindsay. It's hot in Florida. Yeah, I bet it is. It's hot here today. It's like 80 degrees here. Hi, Misha. How are you? Yeah, it's like, it gets caught in everything. It's like really ornately wrapped, this necklace, and it's stabbing me right now because it got stuck on my lace shirt and started to unravel. My friend Jen made this. Jen lives in the Adirondacks of New York, and she's part of this group. She makes the most beautiful jewelry, and I love this piece. It's probably my favorite piece of all of them. Yeah, she's amazing. So, natural magic is the practice of tapping into the energies of the earth in order to manifest or create change in the energies out in the outside world, right? Earth magic is just a subset of natural magic. It's just one kind that focuses on the magical properties that are found within the physical world. So you have crystals, you have herbs, you have the elements, You could even, the ancestors could even be part of that. Kitchen witchery, lunar magic, all of that can be part of it. So what are the various different kinds? There's 20 that I could think of off the top of my head that I would want to mention. So crystal magic revolves around the minerals and the gemstones and crystals that you find on this planet, on this beautiful planet. And they are born of the earth, and they're treasures that hold unique energies that can be harnessed for healing, for protection, and for manifestation. So the practitioner will select specific crystals based on the intentions that they have, that they want to create with their magic, and to connect with each crystal's individual vibration, right? So they each have like their individual vibration, their individual qualities. And they are well recorded and well documented and very easy to find with a quick Google search. And that's similar to earth magic, except for herbal magic, except for herbal magic is more of a profound connection between between nature and the mystical. And so it involves working with plants and herbs and flowers that each possess their own healing properties and magical properties. Herbalists will create potions or sachets or teas and things like this for various magical purposes. And then you have ancestral magic. Ancestral magic is all about honoring and connecting with your forebears. But it's not just your bloodline ancestors. It is the ancestors of the land. It is the ancestors of the earth. It is the ancestors of whatever tradition that you're learning, whatever place that you live at, the ancestors of whatever ideologies that you can connect with and connect to. And so it doesn't have to just be your bloodline. But generally, ancestral magic is all about honoring and allowing. It allows us to seek guidance, protection, and wisdom from those who came before. And it often involves creating altars or performing rituals to maintain this sacred connection, including giving gifts and things like that. Elemental magic is pretty cool too. I use elemental magic quite a lot. These first ones, I practice all of these. Elemental magic delves into the fundamental forces of nature. So you got earth, air, fire, water. And I include spirit as well, or aether. And then you have, sorry, I'm going to make sure that the internet's working correctly. It keeps going out. So people work with the elements to create balance. They use them in rituals. They borrow their energy and ask for their energy and their support for rituals and spells. And they ask for, and the elements lend energy towards your intentions, towards your manifestations. So it's all about understanding the unique qualities of each element and how they interact and how they can benefit you and what you can call on them for. Now, one of my personal favorites is kitchen witchery. And kitchen witchery is a form of natural magic that incorporates cooking and preparing food as a magical act. And it blends herbal magic with culinary skills to infuse your meals or your drinks with intent and energy. And kitchen magic's one of my favorites because I really enjoy cooking. I really enjoy being in the kitchen and making healthy, nutritious meals for my family. So it's one of my favorites. And it's also a simple way to include magic in your everyday life, where you're already doing it anyway, right? You already have to eat anyway. And so it doesn't take a whole lot of extra time or energy or focus to just quickly make your dinner, the meal you're making, to make it magical as well. It doesn't take much at all. You can simply, stir your tea counterclockwise and, infuse your intention into it. So it can be very simple. way to just add to your daily magical practice. And then you have green magic. Green magic is a practice that's closely tied to nature, where practitioners work with spirits of the trees and the plants and the earth itself. And this involves communicating with and honoring in the same way we communicate with and honor ancestors, we do with the plant kingdom or for magical purposes. So this is more of honoring the spirits of the plants, not necessarily their magical properties, but their spirit. And this is part of animism, where it's this idea that all things have a spirit and have a soul. And then you have lunar magic, moon magic. It's harnessing the power of the phases of the moon for magical workings. And that includes spells. It includes rituals that align with the cycles of the moon. It includes a manifestation practice as well. I use the moon as a clock in order to do my inner work and also for my daily manifestation practice. Then you have sun magic. Now, the sun is probably the most ancient form of worship on this planet, is sun magic. Using the energy of the sun to enhance spells, rituals, personal power. Sun magic is often associated with strength, vitality, and personal growth. Sun worship is probably the oldest form of worship that is known to man. You see it in many ancient cultures. I don't necessarily intentionally use the sun too often, but I will once in a while. I find it fascinating. Another type of natural magic is sea magic or water magic, focusing on the energies of the sea or the ocean or a big body of water like a river or a lake. And this is focusing on their energy, and it can involve like ocean rituals and spells, ones that you use. You call on the energy of water. You call on the spirit of that body of water specifically, and working with water's elemental properties as well. And then you have weather magic, which is one that I don't mess with, but it's practicing or influencing, working in harmony with the natural weather patterns like rain and storms, wind, for specific purposes. Sometimes it's to protect people on the planet from weather events, and other times it is more for personal preference or personal desire. Other times it's to create the perfect environment for growing food and growing crops. So there's many different kinds of weather magic as well. And then you also have animal magic. I mean, we all know that the Native Americans did plenty of animal type of magic with their totems and the totem animals. And so animal magic is connecting with and working with the spirits of animals, specific breeds of animals, for divination, for protection, and for guidance as well. A lot of natural magic will include spirit animals too. They're guides and they're protectors, and that usually involves understanding the symbolism and the characteristics of the different types of animals and their different traits. And then you have candle magic, which I love because it's one of the simplest forms of magic and it's powerful. It's a form of sympathetic magic, and that uses candles as the focus for the intentions. So the color and the shape of the candles are chosen to correspond with the desired outcome, along with whatever blessing you put on the candle, whatever you could carve symbols or words into the candle as well. It's a simple way to do powerful magic. Divination is a type of magic as well. Most of you are probably familiar with what divination is, it's the practice of using tools like tarot cards, runes, pendulums, or scrying, either in water or with a pendulum, to gain insight into the present, the past, or the future. And it's often considered a form of natural magic because its connection to intuition and the unseen world. Now, personally, I don't believe in telling the future. I guess I have strange beliefs compared to what someone might think when they find out that I use intuition and that I read tarot and that I use a pendulum and do intuitive readings. People would think that I believe in fortune telling, but I just don't. I don't believe in telling the future. I think that you can get an accurate read of the general energy of what can happen in the future and tap into various possibilities, but we are all in control of our own future and our own outcomes to everything. And so every choice that you make between now and when a future event happens can absolutely change that event from happening in so many different ways that I just don't really believe in bothering to tell the future. I use my divination tools to get clear on inner work, to explore the human psyche, to maybe see the perspective outcomes that could possibly come about, so for manifestation purposes, right? So that we could work towards a mutually beneficial outcome in a situation, that so that we can influence events in real time. There's so many more. Then you have folk magic, and folk magic is fascinating, and there's so much to learn. I have studied it, but I have not practiced any. It's a diverse category because there's so many different kinds of folk magic. There's a kind and a type and various practices for every place on the planet and all the peoples on the planet. So you have hoodoo, you have voodoo, you have Appalachian folk magic, you have the European cunning magic folk traditions. Germanic tribes had their own folk traditions. Settlers who settled in the United States from Poland had their own folk traditions. So Pennsylvania has its own brand of folk magic as well. So different areas all over the world have their own kinds of folk magic that stems from the people who either lived there, originated there, and or settled there. And it's usually a blend of different kinds of people from different places. A lot of the times it's for healing and for bringing abundance and to crops and to animals, livestock, and things like that. A lot of times you'll hear it called grandmother magic, because it's the magic that our grandmothers practiced before things became so rigid in the religious categories, where before the United States became a church with no roof, before Christianity tore across Europe and the rest of the world, and used violence to make their religion paramount and their beliefs and their ideologies paramount. And so a lot of this stuff still existed through that, but it just went underground. And there are women, mostly women, but men as well, all over this planet that hold the secrets and the traditions and the spells and the rituals and the medicine for their people. And so I do think that that kind of a thing is something that you want to learn from those people, that you want to be either descended from them or from that area and learn from those people. I don't think it's something that we pick up a book and read and then just decide to do. Not that I believe in gatekeeping, because I don't. You could take ideas from anything and make it into your own craft. But that's more of a traditional style of magic, is what I'm saying. And traditional styles of magic should be learned by someone from that tradition and someone who knows the ins and outs of that kind of a practice and that kind of a tradition. And then this brings me to eclectic witchcraft, because eclectic witchcraft is basically a flexible approach to magic that combines the elements of all different kinds of traditions and allows the practitioner to create their own path, which is what I probably would have identified as through most of my practice up until recently. And I guess that I still am an eclectic witch in a lot of ways. But I think that natural magic, earth magic, kitchen magic, elemental magic are just better ways to explain it. Because I don't take from traditions all over the world. I take from natural magic traditions. So, and then you have shamanic practices and shamanic magic, which is rooted in indigenous peoples from all over the world. And it ranges... It involves journeys to other realms in the spirit world. It involves working with spirit guides, and it involves healing through altered states of consciousness. Anything that's spirit work is considered natural work. And so any kind of spirit magic would be considered natural magic. And they use herbs and plants and medicine from the earth as well. And then you have like a newer... kind of a newer brand of magic, or a newer term for a certain kind of magic. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but they call it chaos magic. Chaos magic is modern, as I said, and it's highly individualistic, meaning that it depends on the practitioner and the meaning the practitioner wants to give to their practice. But it's a form of magic that emphasizes belief as a tool for achieving results. Practitioners of chaos magic often adopt and get rid of belief systems. So they take on belief systems, and then they shed belief systems depending on the outcome they're trying to create. And that's not very different from what we do when we want to manifest a specific result. When we want to manifest a specific result, we want to have that beliefs into place and get rid of the beliefs that don't serve that result, in order to support that manifestation practice. And say we have a different manifestation desire and goal, at another point in time, we might then shed other beliefs and pick up new ones that will support that outcome. And so that's kind of the idea of chaos magic. And then you have ceremonial magic, which you will almost never see me doing. Ceremonial magic is highly structured, and it's really ritualistic, almost in the way you see a ritual performed in church. It often draws from ancient traditions, which is fantastic, but it focuses on invoking and working with higher spiritual beings, a lot of times angels or demons. And I don't work with deities at all. I just don't. Not at this time. I have in the past, and I may again. But I just prefer to work with the god and goddess, great mystery, the energy that rules the universe, and then nature and my ancestors, possibly, things that are alive, the plants, the trees, the crystals, the herbs, all of this is what you'd say I worship, if you wanted to use that word. And then you have two forms of Wicca that are also part of would be considered natural magical practices. Now, let's quickly go over the difference, and then I'll tell you about those as well. Let me just quickly grab my notes on that as well. Interesting. Okay, hang on. So, I want to just quickly cover the difference between Wicca and witchcraft. Like, why are they different? What makes them different from one another? Because I think that a lot of people get confused as far as that's concerned. And most people, when they first enter magical practice or the world of studying magic, most people go to Wicca first because Wicca is organized. It's a religion. So it does have dogma, meaning there are beliefs and rules that are followed. Personally, I find that constricting. But that's just my opinion. The difference between the two is witchcraft is a practice. It's a craft. It's a craft just like any other art. It is a deeply personal thing, and it can go with religion and religious or dogmatic beliefs, and it can be completely separate from them as well. Witchcraft on its own is a practice. It has nothing to do with a religion. It has nothing to do with specific belief systems. It just is on its own. So, Wicca is based on the worship of nature, but it's more of the goddesses. So Wicca uses the triple goddess, which is the three aspects of the female divine feminine, the maiden, mother, and the crone. And like I said, magic's part of their rituals. They believe in the threefold law, which states that whatever you do will come back to you 3 times. I think that that's a really cool law, but magic does always have a price. I'm not going to say that it doesn't, but that doesn't necessarily mean that everyone should have to adhere to the rules, you know? Really, it's a personal thing. Witchcraft in general is manipulating energy, right, and influencing reality. And so it can be practiced by anyone, regardless of whether they have a religious affiliation or not, or what their beliefs are or not. Some witches follow a specific tradition or a path, and some don't, while others work eclectic or a solitary where they just create their own path. Witches may or may not worship gods and goddesses, and they may or may not have an ethical code. Personally, I don't teach worship, and I use the elements and ancestors almost exclusively. However, there's sometimes I will include Native American or goddesses. The Native American idea of the Great Spirit or the Great Mystery and Grandfather Sun and Grandmother Moon, things like that, the planetary bodies and stuff like that. Wicca, as I said, it's a religion, and witchcraft is not. So witchcraft can be learned and used by anyone, where Wicca needs, it's just that you need to follow the reed. They have a reed. They have their own rules. So not all witches are Wiccans, and not all Wiccans will call themselves witches. Some people identify as both Wiccan and witch, and some people don't prefer either, and some people prefer one over the other. And then just quickly I'll touch on paganism, because I know that that can be confusing as well. Paganism is an umbrella term for various earth-based spiritualities that are not Wiccan. Paganism is not Wicca. It can mean someone who believes in many gods, a pantheist, or a polytheist, or a person whose spiritual beliefs are other than the Abrahamic religions, the 3 main religions that came from Abraham: Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. And a person can follow any of these 3 religions or any other religion and practice witchcraft. So there's a such thing as Christian witches or Jewish witches. There's a such thing as people who practice witchcraft that are part of every religious tradition on the planet. But you can't necessarily be any of these and technically still be Wiccan, because Wicca would replace your main religion, because it too is a religion. And so just to clear that up so that everyone kind of understands that. So the two forms of Wicca, which are just generally different teachings, they're different traditional paths within the heading of Wicca, which is a religion. You have Gardnerian Wicca and you have Dianic Wicca. These two are natural magic practices. So Gardnerian Wicca is a specific tradition of modern witchcraft, which was founded by a man named Gerald Gardner. And he is also the man who Wicca came from. So most of the ideas that are encompassed within Wicca come from his practices. And it was formed in the 1950s. Now, like I said, it's a religion, so it follows a set of rules and rituals and specific practices that are done a specific way, including deity worship and observing specific Sabbats. I follow the pagan wheel of the year as well, and most pagans do. Most people who are witches or Wiccans or practice any form of magic or have any kind of magical path, most people kind of follow the neo-pagan wheel of the year. It just helps to break the seasons down and to live more intentionally. And then you have Dianic Wicca, which is another form of Wicca that is goddess-centered. And it's very feminist, which there's nothing wrong with that, but it is predominantly worships the goddess and her many forms. And it has a lot of female empowerment connotations to it as well. So these are just a few examples, 20 examples of different types of natural magic that exists. And keep in mind that many practitioners may blend or adapt these things their own way to create their own unique magical path. And you can as well. Now, how do you go about choosing the right path for you? Just want to check and make sure I'm not missing any comments. Let me know if you have any questions, please. How do you go about choosing the right type for yourself? Well, first, you'd want to research. So start by diving into natural magic. Books, online resources, have conversations with people who practice. Ask questions. Use your intuition. Listen to your inner voice. You may find that you're drawn to a specific tradition or a type of magic, or that you resonate with specific elements or certain crystals or herbs. Trust your instincts. Practice. Don't be afraid to roll up your sleeves and get your hands dirty. Metaphorically and literally, because experimentation is one of the best ways you'll ever learn. Use crystals and herbs, and the ones that you look up online, and they're associated with different kinds of natural magic, to see what resonates the most with you, what works for you, what just feels good. Always meditation and reflection are always recommended. They're always recommendations of mine. Taking time to meditate and reflect on certain spiritual beliefs and your own beliefs and your own goals for your life. And ask yourself, which of these truly aligns with the life that you're trying to create, and the person, the being that you are. And consider finding a mentor or a community of like-minded practitioners. They can offer valuable guidance and support and help you navigate your journey. You can always ask questions here in this group as well. And like I said, next Saturday, the 4th of November, I'm going to do a Simple Earth Magic mini course. It's going to cover quite a few of these that I mentioned. I'll go back and I'll tell you which ones. We will cover crystal magic. We will cover herbal magic. We will cover ancestral magic, elemental magic, kitchen witchery, green magic, and lunar magic. One more, candle magic as well. Those are the ones that will be included in the Simple Earth Magic mini course. There's links for that all over this group. If you need to find one, just reach out and tell me. Remember, the path that you choose is a deeply personal one, and no one should decide it but you. Take your time and connect with the magic that sings to you, the magic that speaks to you personally. Generally, when you have a keen interest in something, or you feel drawn towards something, that means it's meant for you. So until next time, thank you guys so much for joining me. Until next time, stay curious and keep practicing and keep asking questions. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you early next week. Take care.